It's playoff time yet again for the National Hockey League, and the first round is set to have some fascinating matchups, filled with teams and players eager to go on long playoff runs and potentially win the ultimate prize of hoisting Lord Stanley's Cup. In this video, I'll be previewing and predicting each first round matchup, telling you the three teams from the East and West that I think have the best chance to win it all, and finally give you my pick for the 2025 Stanley Cup champion. Starting off in the East, we have the Battle of Ontario, with the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Ottawa Senators. The Sens won all three of the regular season matchups between these two teams, but Ottawa also hasn't been in the playoffs since 2017. The Leafs addressed some issues with toughness, bringing in guys like Chris Tanev and Brandon Carlo on defense, and with Brady Tkachuk finishing every check, they're desperately going to need these guys to step up for a playoff run. The goaltending matchup will be very intriguing, with Anthony Stolarz coming off a very strong season and Linus Ullmark having struggled at times in his playoff career. We could also potentially see Joseph Woll in net for the Leafs, and his playoff numbers are off the charts. I think the Leafs core knows this is likely their last chance with this group, and I think they have what it takes. I'm picking Toronto in 6. Next up, we have another rivalry matchup, the Battle of Florida, between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers. Each team won 2 games in the regular season series, and these guys have also met in the playoffs in 3 of the last 4 years. The Lightning are probably the best team that no one's talking about nearly enough. They're top 3 in goals for and goals against, top 5 on the power play. They have 4 forwards with at least 35 goals, and Andrei Vasilevsky is playing the best hockey he's played since the last time they went to the Cup final in 2022. The Panthers have also just played so much hockey over the last 2 seasons, going to the finals in back-to-back years, and over half their team also played in the Four Nations face-off. Matthew Tkachuk coming back from that injury will also be a key question mark. It's going to be a battle, but I think Tampa will take the series in 6. The next matchup features the number 1 team in the East, the Washington Capitals, versus the young Montreal Canadiens. The Capitals have played a pretty near-perfect regular season, and many of the moves they've made have worked out very well. But with the OV goal chase being a huge deal and the team cooling off over the last few weeks, the series might not be as easy as some people think. The Habs have had to go on a heater just to make it to the playoffs, and after adding the rookie Ivan Demonov to a young lineup that already has Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, and of course Lane Hudson, I think Montreal could make things very interesting, and I'm actually going to pick them to shock the world and upset Washington in 7 games. For our final East matchup, it's the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New Jersey Devils. These teams split the regular season series 2 games apiece, but that was before Jack Hughes got hurt. The Canes are playing with an extra chip on their shoulder after the whole Mikko Rantanen situation, and they're still very much a team that is built to go on a long run. Even with Jack Hughes, the Devils would still be underdogs in this series. I think Carolina takes it in 5. Moving on to the Western Conference, we have the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets versus the red-hot St. Louis Blues. The Jets won 3 of 4 in the regular season, but the Blues have been a completely different team in the second half of the year, and under coach Jim Montgomery. Both teams are very hot going in. Connor Hellebuyck is having one of the top goaltending seasons really of all time, but he's again going against Jordan Binnington, who's outplayed him in a few big moments in their careers. Both teams have a key injury, Ehlers from Winnipeg and Holloway from St. Louis, but I think Hellebuyck has everything to prove in this series, and he'll be ready for the moment. It's going to be tight, but give me Winnipeg in Game 7. In our next matchup, we have 2 huge cup contenders, with the Dallas Stars taking on the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs won 2 of 3 matchups during the regular season. Dallas might be the deepest team in the NHL on paper and have very few weaknesses, but Colorado made some excellent moves during the season to give themselves a chance to compete for a cup. With Landeskog coming back into the lineup, and with the goaltending additions they made, I also just don't see them losing to Dallas 2 years in a row in the playoffs. I'm taking Colorado in 6. Next up, we've got the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Minnesota Wild. Vegas won all 3 regular season matchups, and they look poised to go on another deep run. Jack Eichel is having a career year. Tomas Hertl has been excellent in his first full year with the team, and besides Pietrangelo, everyone's pretty healthy at the moment. The Wild just barely squeaked into the playoffs and understandably struggled with Kaprizov missing the time he did. Even with Kirill back, I don't know that Minnesota can handle this Vegas team. I'm picking the Golden Knights in 6 games. Now for our final matchup, it's the Los Angeles Kings and the Edmonton Oilers for the 4th year in a row. The Kings won 3 of 4 games during the regular season and have been the better team for most of the year. The Oilers are going to the playoffs pretty banged up, and I don't think they're nearly as good of a roster as they were last year. The Kings, on the other hand, made a huge upgrade in net with Darcy Kemper, and their offensive unit is much improved too. McDavid and Draisaitl are certainly not going to make things easy, but I think the Kings will finally beat Edmonton this time around in 6 games. Now that we've covered each of the round 1 matchups, my top 3 biggest contenders from the Eastern Conference include the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Carolina Hurricanes. And my top 3 from out west are the Vegas Golden Knights, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Winnipeg Jets. And now, for the team I would pick as my 2025 Stanley Cup champion, I'm going to go with the Colorado Avalanche. Make sure to let me know what your predictions are in the comments down below and which teams you want to see lift the Stanley Cup this season. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching.